We can all sit here and blame the government and the mega rich for everything happening today. There are so many things that are unexplained, don't make sense, or that doesn't seem fair. I mean, nurses using food banks, people choosing between heating and eating, the extra costs on driving people around the bend. It's a lot to deal with for many, and this is on top of the fact that credit cards and mortgage rates have increased to further squeeze pockets and squeeze people also out of the prospect of potential property ownership. You know, it was really sad to see that bailiff activity increase so much that they could make an entire TV show with multiple series about the fact that there are people who simply can't afford to pay back what they've borrowed, and often through circumstances they can't control. And sometimes they still owe money even after the bailiff has taken the last set of valuables they have. They weren't kidding when they said that life won't be easy. But there's a caveat to that statement. Life won't be easy for some. And for some, life isn't a sailboat on crystal blue waters, but it's a little easier. Thankfully, some will never see a bailiff knock at their door and try to wedge the toe of their standard issue Doc Martens in the tiny gap of those that crack the door open unawares. And yes, a lot of people can now see who's at the door, but that doesn't make it any less of an anxiety-inducing situation to find yourself in. Some have envelopes piling up in a corner as you recognize the font that's printed on the envelope, and you know it's just going to bring you down if you actually read what's inside. There are some who try to hide their true situation from those they love. Their bank balance just happens to spend more time with a minus sign in front as a result of the way they spend. Isn't it crazy that you get charged an additional fee when you're already in minus, putting you further into the minus? But this is what they bank on you doing. And all this doesn't just apply to those on average incomes and below. There are some who, to most, are earning a very, very healthy wage, yet they face some of the same money anxieties, keeping them awake at night and unable to fully concentrate on their work during the day, or on that task that only you can do, which sometimes leads to mistakes that could also prove costly. It's a lot to deal with, and some go it alone. It's mentally taxing and can be emotionally draining. My name is David Ankara. I've been a finance professional for over 20 years, which at one point involved looking after the finances of a global software company with a 30 million plus turnover. But I'm also the author of 2 books on personal finance, and my passion is conveying awareness and ideas around money matters and seeing that aha moment when people start to get excited about progressing financially and leaving some of those issues behind. And yes, there is a workshop and a program for many of you to address some of these issues, and you can get in touch with me if you'd like more info on that. But the focus of me speaking to you right now is what we can do for the younger ones who are about to embark on this journey called life. Again, we can blame all we like, but I want to offer a practical step to give students, and especially final year students, an advantage. Some would even say it's an unfair advantage, but I actually call it leveling the playing field. I was an A student when it came to maths, but that didn't prevent me from ending up thousands and thousands in debt soon after getting my first job. Ironically, in accounts. And I'm saying that to say this: being good with numbers doesn't automatically mean that you are good with money. And being good with money doesn't automatically mean you are optimal with personal finance. We can give students or any group of youths that you care about a head start against the jackals, the hyenas, or however you would like to call the claws of debt. What I'd like to offer is a 3-hour workshop for any group of students or youths who you think would benefit from knowing what to look out for when dealing with money, how to stay vigilant when being offered everything on a silver platter, and to recognize the mind programming that can start at home and can sit internally for years. This is not a simple, here is a budget, What is a mortgage workshop? It's truly raising the financial intelligence of those who attend from the outset. The workshop is playfully titled Don't Do What I Did, which is also the name of one of my books aimed at young adults. I truly want us to help them avoid some of the common traps and mistakes when it comes to dealing with money and life. So in your organization, you may think, let's wait for the end of the year to see if you have some budget to use, or maybe you want to book this in sooner rather than later and secure copies of the book Don't Do What I Did for everyone who attends the workshop. Whatever your situation, I'd like to encourage you to, at the very least, get in touch with me to see how this may fit in with your plan, your schedule, your deliverables, your goals, and let's do something positive for the leaders of the next generation. Let's give them the chance to avoid the hardships and traps being laid in front of them. So when the cost of living crisis part X arrives, they are better equipped to navigate the terrain or simply sail through with no issues. Head over to evolusol.org or look me up on LinkedIn. Let's work out where our schedules align and let's book some time in the diary.